welcome back to the Nerd Theorists. We're doing something special today and over these next couple of videos. In honour of the new set Brothers War, I thought it'd be cool to take a look at the big showstopper cards, Mishra and Urza, and talk about how I would build decks around them. So enough of the Azorius old guy, we're going to start with Mishra, claimed by Gigs. Now with both Mishra and Urza, I think you could build them in pretty cool ways, just around these two cards on their own. That'd be cool, they make pretty fun decks, but what I want to be doing is melding Mishra every single game and swinging this big old Phyrexian at people's faces. Let's take a look at the payoff for all the work we're going to do by getting these melded together. Mishra lost to Phyrexia looks awesome, and I'm going to say it right now. If you've not seen a meld happen across the table from you, it's amazing. I run Brazella in my Angel's Tribal Commander deck, and it's always glorious when you get them both out and just get to swing out with a big old beast. All the abilities that he's got him, they look sweet here, very Rakdos. You've got your choice of removal, evasion, hand disruption, and even some ramp for good measure. And it's not just when it enters, it's every time you attack. So how, I know what you're thinking, how are we reliably going to be melding every single game? The answer is tutors. And I've done some trawling through the vast archives of Magic the Gathering and managed to find no less than 19 ways we can search for the other piece of the puzzle, the Phyrexian Dragon Engine. Now I'm not saying throw all 19 of these tutors into your deck. Some of them are very pricey, as we all know. Big hitters like Vampiric Tutor and Imperial Seal, well, they're great to include if you've got them, but don't go breaking the bank. I've not said it before, but this ain't no CDH commander or deck. This is purely casual. We aren't going to be tutoring for some infinite combos. We're going to be tutoring for our meld piece to meld into this magnificent creature. Right, here we go. Here are the shooters. Main ones on top of them two that I've just mentioned. You've got Demonic Tutor, Diabolic Tutor, Diabolic Intent, Grim Tutor, Dark Petition, Sarkhan's Triumph, Imperial Recruiter, and Beseech the Queen. There you go. There is 10 really good options straight away. And I really like Dark Petition, and I know it's a little bit more expensive. Requires a little bit more setup, but you cast it, you find your Phyrexian Dragon Engine, and you just cast the Phyrexian Dragon Engine straight away. There you go. Obviously, Vampiric Tutor and Imperial Seal, Demonic Tutor, or Diabolic Tutor even. Those are your best three. But Sarkhan's Triumph and Imperial Recruiter, they're definitely worth a mention, as the Phyrexian Dragon Engine, he falls into both of those categories. So they're really good includes. Now, what's cool about the Phyrexian Dragon Engine is he has this really awesome unearth mechanic, which allows for some really sweet setup on our earlier turns, so we can get us ready for a later turn to activate the unearth. Now, there is a bunch of tutors that get this guy out of our library straight into our graveyard, so that we can activate that unearth mechanic once we've got Mishra into play, and the unearth mechanic gives it haste, so we can swing out there and then and flip and meld. So that's really cool. 7 guys I've got here. So I've got Goblin Engineer, Vile Entombed, Unmarked Grave, Buried Alive, Entomb, Final Parting, and Gamble. So that's 7 more really good options right there to get us the Dragon Engine straight into the graveyard, so we can abuse that unearth ability. And I know I've included Gamble, but it's not really a gamble, is it? When if he goes into the graveyard, we can just use unearth to get him back. Now, all that tutoring to the graveyard, what you're going to need is, if you're including all 7 of them, I think what you want to do is maybe throw in some alternative ways of recursion. So unearth, persist, dread return, and the old classic reanimate. That's some redundancy in the deck to make you be able to recur your Phyrexian Dragon Engine when it inevitably gets removed. Couple of the other tutors that I found a worth mentioning. They wouldn't go in every deck for obvious reasons, but Wishclaw Talisman. Now, don't include it if you are if your playgroup's full of combo heavy decks and you know you're going to be sat at a table with 3 other decks where all of them can combo off. You're not going to want to activate your Wishclaw Talisman because you're just going to give some other guy the win. But you're in a game with 4 players, and chances are there's always some politics to be had. So don't underestimate Wishclaw Talisman. Now, the other one involves building the whole deck around the theme, and that's Dragon's Approach, because obviously the Phyrexian Dragon Engine is a dragon. Now, I've not tried one of these decks before, but they look really cool, and it sort of gives you the alternative sub-theme of being a Rakdos Dragon tribal, so that's cool. And you sort of lean into the self-mill as well there. So the recursion that I've just talked about, that sort of synergizing well there too. So that's cool. Right, main objective complete. We've got the Dragon Engine onto the battlefield. We've played Mishra. Now what we need now is some protection. So all the work we've just done getting them onto the battlefield and into play isn't wasted. Now your obvious includes here, you've got your Lightning Greaves and your Swiftfoot Boots. Includes in a lot of commander decks. Really good protection, but I also really like the Hammer of Nazan. When I'm looking for protection spells, it enters, it attaches, gives it indestructible, and a little boost to its power as well, so that's always nice. Now, Red Elemental Blast and Pyroblast give us some counter protection, and you know what? Those pesky blue mages never see it coming. Awesome cards. And the recursion cards I mentioned earlier, they sort of pseudo protection in a way. Recursion, it's nice. Well, as a protection, what we want to be doing is have a few of the haste enables, and that sort of falls into the same area as this, because if we can give it haste on the same turn that we cast Mishra, it gives our opponents much less chance to respond. So 2 pairs of boots that I just mentioned, they're really good, but also anger is a nice one, and we're already shooting into the graveyard, so that sort of synergizes there. Urabask is expensive to cast, but he also gives our opponents a little bit of a headache with their creatures coming in tap, so that's nice. And well, further, just gives all our creatures haste, so that's fun times. Right, all our pieces are out. Mishra and Dragon Engine good to go. We swing, we flip, and then do you know what you want on the battlefield? A Panharmonicon or a Strionic Resonator out to just double up on their ETB effect and just head straight to Value Town. That's awesome. Now, if you took Mishra on his own, it's got a really cool attack trigger. That's awesome. And the melded version has an even better attack trigger. So what we really want to try and lean into is everybody's favourite. So extra combat steps. Forgive me for the pronunciation of this guy, but Moraug, Fury of the Akoum, he is nice and repeatable. Same goes for Aggravated Assault. Both of those, you're going to get multiple occurrences of it in future turns, which is nice. World at War and Seize the Day, they're going to give you some extra bang for your buck with a rebound and a flashback. So that's nice. And then got a few other cards to round out that extra combat gang. So Combat Celebrant, Relentless Assault, Scourge of the Throne, Port Raiser, Savage Beating. All really good extra combat step enablers. Really nice. So that's going to give us the pretty good basis for our deck. Now, because we're keeping it pretty casual here, I've got some extra spicy cards that I just want to throw in, mention for good measure, because it's casual. We can afford to live in magical Commander Dreamland scenarios where we've got all the mana and nothing's being removed. So Helm of the Host, this is always a card that I want to include, but if you are creating copies of a melded Mishra every turn with haste and swinging in with those stupid attack triggers, that's going to be mint. Obosh the Prey Piercer, he also works here because when you meld 2 creatures together, you add their mana values together, and that is the mana value of the creature you get. So Obosh the Prey Piercer would make him do double damage. So that's 18 to your face. And in the same breath as that, Fiery Confluence turns your commander into an absolute monster. 9 damage tripled, what's that, 27, and then you've got the ability that does 3 damage, so triple that, another 9, 36 in one swing. That right there is a bonus point. Now, Saw in Half, that's a cool card from Infinity. What's better than having 1 Mishra is having 2. Now, what you'd have to get rid of one of them because of Legend rule, I believe, but you'd still get an ETB effect off them, so that's really cool. Tainted Strike is a cheeky one to include because that's going to get a knockout out of nowhere and catch somebody off guard. Really nice. Croxer, Titan of Death Hunger, synergizes with the extra combat steps and the attack triggers, and he's just an absolute house in every deck he goes in. And, well, just because we're melding and we like to meld, Hanway Garrison and Hanway Battlements, they're in our colours, and you know what? It's an extra meld. Really cool. Now, this would not be one of my Commander videos if I did not talk about ramp, draw, and removal. So, ramp, you've got your classics here. You'd have your Sol Ring, your Arcane Signet, your Felwar Stone, Wayfarer's Bauble, Rakdos Signet, Talisman of Indulgence, Mind Stone, and Fort Vessel. So, there's 8 of them right there. You add Dockside Extortionist and grab a Jessica's Will. There's your 10 points of ramp right there. Removal, Mishra's Melding, pretty good at doing that when he's smashing face, but we want all our bases covered, so Chaos Warp, Blasphemous Act, Vandal Blast, Dreadbore and Terminate, they're good targeted removal. Colligan's Command, that's nice, gives us an ability to get our creature back from the graveyard as well. Abrade gives us some options, and Deadly Relic, casting it for free. Lovely stuff. Do you know what? Toxic Deluge, the Nerd Theorist Game Night All-Star, easy include here. And I think a couple of the Warhammer 40k cards, Blood for the Blood God, and their name is Death. They're going to synergize really well here. Blood for the Blood God doing 8 damage, and your creatures, your commander's going to be on 9, so he's going to dodge that. If you need more removal, go a little bit higher, you know the obvious choices. Chuck a Deflecting Swat in here if you've got it. It's expensive, but you know it does work in a deck. Draw. A couple of black enchantments that get us cards every turn. That's Phyrexian Arena and Black Market Connections. Both really good includes here. Theatre of Horrors is one that I've not put in any decks, but it just looks like it could work here. The Rakdos seems a good include. Bolus Citadel, that is an auto include in pretty much every black deck. Few other black draw spells, you've got Read the Bones, Sign in Blood, and Night's Whisper. They're just going to tick you along nicely, same as Thrill of Possibility, Unexpected Windfall, and Big Scar in red, so they're going to help with some card selection. Now, for those of you that were counting all them cards that I have just mentioned, that was 82. And in there's a lot of expensive options, so do you know what? Take what I've said, trim out the 17 or 18 most expensive, and that right there is your budget deck. That's it. That's our big bad Melding Mishra and his deck full of tricks. I think it'll be a fun one to play, and getting to meld is awesome. Always awesome to see, so let me know what you think in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay nerdy.